Just
It's a fly. Just jeans. Yeah, you're right.
Well, and give us watch out, fly. Give us a holistic picture then, since I guess we talked to you like 2 weeks ago, kind of what you've seen, highlights, things to build upon.
Yeah, it's. I think it's been a really productive training camp. You know, part of it is obviously you want to, as a competitor, you want to win every play, win every rep, and have a great day walking off the field as an offense, feeling like you had a good day. And we've definitely had some of those days, but we've also had days where defenses punch us in the mouth a little bit. They've given us some tough looks, some stuff that is really going to help us. So I think it's been a really good back and forth. It's exciting for me knowing the challenge that our defense has presented to us. It gets me excited for the regular season when we're all on the same team and knowing that that's the defense other people are going to face. I think that gets me excited. Then offensively, some of the things I know we wanted to work on, whether it's run game, pass game, just staying on schedule, details, all these different things. That's kind of generic, but the stuff that I felt like we really need to improve on from last year, including myself, I do think we've taken big steps in those areas. Every day has not been perfect, not been clean necessarily, but a lot to learn from, and I think that's what camp's about, and you want that competitive spirit, and you want to go back and forth, and I think the guys have done a really good job of that.
I think Elijah said it was last week that the windows are tighter with this defense comparatively. Yeah. Just describe that for you. Maybe the first few practices, was it kind of a jolt of like, whoa, this is a little bit different than previous years?
Yeah, and it's really good to practice against that. You know, not everyone plays that way. Like, there's different philosophies on defense, but when you go against our defense that does play that way, it's very physical on the outside. There's no air, there's no cushion for the most part. You know, obviously they adjust and they have different looks, but timing has to be perfect. Landmarks have to be perfect. Communication between myself and the receivers or tight ends or whoever is critical because the windows are, you know, way smaller because they're getting matched on different things where usually you're expecting this play versus soft coverage or you have some space to run, you know, different things. It presents challenges where it makes us look at our system too in certain plays, be like, all right, this play is not great against that, or maybe we want to motion it this way or whatever. You know, I think it really makes you look at the full picture and see how you can get better because you're not just getting, you know, off coverage where you can just run and get off the line and do whatever you want. You know, they challenge you, and I think that is good for us to see, especially in camp.
Is there a bigger victory in preseason than just walking away healthy, having your players healthy?
That's a huge win. It's walking away healthy. No, I do think that the work is really important and making it count and getting good reps and learning from them and making the corrections, and especially for younger guys, but not just younger guys that are newer to the system or to the team or whatever it is, just getting up to speed and correcting some of the mistakes that happened early on. And I have seen all the guys do that, including myself. Like, obviously, I've made some mistakes too in training camp, and that's what it's about is getting those things ironed out, whether it's timing, whether it's just you're going to have days where some days just the ball doesn't come off my hand quite the way I want it to, and working through that stuff, the timing with the guys, anticipation, protection stuff up front, communicating with Mitch, who's obviously new. I think that is a win too, is really getting on the same page throughout training camp with all the looks. But, I mean, honestly, most important thing is staying healthy because you got to have all your guys.
How much of a good time is Mac Jones having, and is it fun to kind of see?
Mac's having a great time. I'm sure you guys have seen. Mac's fun to be around, man. He's just bubbly, you know, loves football. That's like the best word to describe him, like just bubbly. You know, loves football, loves being out here. The guys respond great to him, you know. But he also has great command. Like, he's not just like a jokester. You know, he's serious and takes care of his business. Really smart player. You know, I've been impressed with how he's handled everything. Obviously, coming into a new QB room, different role, and you know, CJ's here too. And the dynamic between them has been cool to watch and to see how those two have really gone with the flow of the situation. And obviously, everyone knows the deal. Like, we're all here to compete and do our best and play our best. Like, that's, you know, plain and simple, but you can have fun and you can have a good QB room while doing it, you know, and I think that's important to remember, not just for quarterbacks, but for every position. But, you know, when you step on the field, obviously everyone's trying to execute and do their best to make every play. But I think we have a really good time in our room, which makes it fun, and we're all on the same page, and I think that is critical, especially as a quarterback.
Was it you, Christian, a couple of years ago that initiated you guys to start playing golf together in the offseason?
I don't know. I don't know who it was. Just both of us, we'll say. It's meant to be.
Have you got your handicap in single digits yet?
Yeah, I did at the end of this offseason. I'll have to check it. I had a good last round in Tahoe, which helped me. It's like a high 8 or like a low 9 or something like that.
Okay. What does that, if anything, do for you and Christian on the field when you have that kind of rapport off the field?
I think it helps just having a relationship with someone beyond football, and knowing them, and obviously me and him and Marissa and Ozzy, his wife, we're all close, so I think that helps. And when you know someone and you can address them a certain way just because you really know each other and you're friends, and it's not just my teammate and we work together and that's it, it goes beyond that. And I think it's not just Christian, I'm really close with Christian, but there's other guys too where I feel like this offseason we've really taken more time to go play golf or hang out or do whatever, just because that stuff's important. And I think to know your teammates and to have relationships with them outside of this building only helps when you come to work and when you have to sacrifice and you got to dig deep for the guy next to you. I think that stuff really does matter. It sounds cliche, but I do think it becomes a lot easier when you really know the guy next to you.
What have you seen out of Etienne so far in training camp?
He's looked great. I'm just excited every year. I mean, he's just gotten better and better. I think as far as just his vision and his discipline in the run game, he's taken even another step. I thought he took a huge step last year, and this year's even better. His hands out of the backfield and just his route running, honestly. I mean, he's done a great job of just getting open and really expanding what he can bring to the table for our offense. I mean, he's not just a guy that we're going to run the ball, get him on the perimeter and some of the run game and get him in space. He really is a guy that's a threat down the field now, and I feel like that's only going to help him, one, get the ball more, and only going to help our offense become more explosive because now you truly have a fifth guy to defend in the passing game. So I think it's going to be really good for us, really good for him. Obviously, that's going to help. Travis is a guy you want to get in space as much as you can. And I think being able to do that in the passing game is easier than always trying to find it in the run game. That can be a little harder. And even on his body throughout the season, take some miles off of him too. So I think all the way around, it's been a really great training camp for him. He's looked good. Every year I've said it, but it's the best I've seen him look. I said that last year, and he looks even better this year. So I'm excited for him.
What about Elijah Cooks? What have you seen from Elijah Cooks this camp?
Yeah, Elijah's made some plays. I think, what everybody sees what Elijah's good at is being physical, going up, making the contested catches, especially in the red zone. He's done that. He's made some splash plays. I think he's getting more and more comfortable in the system. Obviously, there's always wrinkles that we're adding. Training camp, we do a lot of different things. We try stuff. Some stuff doesn't work, and we don't do it anymore. And some stuff we just want to see how it looks. So there's always wrinkles, and I think for receivers, it's always kind of a learning curve of every day is really different in camp. You're not game planning. You don't have, this is our plan for the week, learn it, and go execute it. During the season, it's more structured, and you kind of know what to expect. In training camp, you're just doing a bunch of different things, and you're getting sometimes bad looks on defense because you're not game planning your defense. You're not just trying to put in plays just to beat them. You want to put in all your plays so when you get to the season, you've ran them all. So I think it's more challenging for them because there's every play to pick from. So some of the details I think we need to get better, not just Elijah, but just all the younger receivers and even guys that just got here. I think just hone in on the details. And like I said to Mia earlier, was when you get the press coverage and you get stuff like that and it's physical, they're even more critical because timing is imperative. I can't be late on throws, so you can't be coming out of your route early. You can't go too deep, can't be too short. Whatever it is, all that stuff really matters. And I think we've seen that throughout camp, which has been good for us.
It's obviously preseason, and you guys aren't going to play the whole game, but is it going to be anything extra, anything special going up against Pat and the Chiefs, given what they've done in this league on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have an opportunity to go out there and play and they're keeping score and I'm not wearing a red jersey, I think there's a little extra on it, and you want to play well and you want to perform and you want to win. I mean, that's bottom line. Preseason game, whatever, you still want to win, and it's a good challenge for us. They're going to play their guys too, so it'll be a good challenge for us and see how we stack up early. Obviously, it's preseason 1. There's a long ways to go before week 1, but I think it is important to kind of test yourself and see how you look against a team that has been the standard the past few years, and shouldn't take it lightly. It is just a preseason game, but you're playing, they're keeping score, you want to win it. So I think that's the mindset, and Coach actually just mentioned that after practice. So we understand what we want to do and what the goal is.
How have you seen Brian kind of grow from the start of camp or even OTAs?
Yeah, we're asking him to kind of do everything just to see you get a new guy and you want to see how he runs certain routes, what he's good at, put him in different positions and just see how he responds. And I think he's done a great job of kind of adapting and changing his role, from day to day or even from play to play. So I think he's done a great job of learning that, because that's something that you don't really do as much in college. The schemes are just way different. Offenses are way different. So he's a really smart guy, like I've said in the spring. So he's picked it up quickly. I think now he's getting to the point where he's starting to play faster. Because no matter how smart you are, how quick you pick up the offense, I remember, being a rookie, and I know it, but you're still kind of like a little bit slow when you're playing. You're thinking, you're still breaking the huddle. You're thinking about where you're going, what you're running, and then right before the ball snapped, you're like, all right, I know what I got. But as he has progressed, I think you can see it clicking more, where he has more confidence. He's breaking the huddle. He's going right to where he knows he's supposed to go. Some of the routes have just been, a little sharper as we've gone on, which has been great to see. And I know the more and more we work him and he's in this system, he's just going to continue to get more confident. That's like anybody. But I think right now he's done everything so far. We've kind of put him in different spots and seen what he's done well, what he maybe needs to work on, whatever it is, what we think he can really bring to the table. And it's expanding that and getting better at those things and putting him in a position to be successful, especially early. Get his confidence going early. I think that's going to be important. And then from there, I think the sky's the limit for him. I just, once he starts playing really fast, he's going to be great.
I know you've said it, Press has said it, Doug has said it. You're trying to get more reps with not just the top three guys at wide receiver, not just Travis, not just Evan. Who's a young guy or two who maybe have surprised you and you say, wow, that's someone who's in consideration for significant playing time? There's
a few guys. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I'll just give you one. Parker Washington has looked great. We've talked about it before, I think, but from last year to this year, such an improvement on just the way he's played. And for him to have a full offseason where he's healthy, I think it's been good for him too. He kind of started off, I mentioned that last time, started off a little injured, and it was hard for him to kind of get going because straight to training camp and he had to roll. He didn't have OTAs to get settled in. So to see him this year, it's been cool to see his transformation and how good he looks, honestly. I've been really impressed. Guy that you see him, and he's a slot receiver, but he's played outside. He's moved around. He can kind of do everything, and he's great after the catch too. So that's going to help us a lot. So that's a guy I'd probably say that I've noticed the most. But there's a bunch of guys that are making plays. I don't even want to start name them all, but that's definitely Parker has looked great.
Doug mentioned that Press is going to be calling plays from the sideline. Is that something that you're looking forward to? Maybe that extra element of communication.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't really care that much where he's at. I think it cuts down some of the communication time. I guess that would be accurate. But either way, I can get on the headset quick, or I can tell Mike if I'm thinking something to tell him. So that communication's always been good. So it doesn't change much. It'll be cool to see him down there and interact with him. I think it'll be good for him to get a feel for just the team, because there's some games are just different, and the feel at the beginning, you feel it as players and coaches on the field, but I'm sure it's different from the press box or the coach's booth. I just can't. I've never been up there, so I don't know. I would assume it's different. You're kind of detached from the energy and the atmosphere of the sideline. So we'll see how that changes things, if it does at all. I don't really know. Doesn't change what I have to do, so I haven't really thought about it, to be honest.
You mentioned Mitch coming in. How's the connection with y'all, and what does he bring into the offense?
It's been great. Mitch is a stud. Just a great leader, honestly. I think a guy that's, like I said before, he's proven himself in this league. He's a great player, leads the right way. What I love about him is his attitude. He's not afraid to work. It's not just Debbie Downer, 10-year vet coming in here, doesn't want to practice. He's excited to go out there and practice. I love the way he leads the guys. He communicates. There's times where he's wanting to get some extra works on some snaps, and I'm like, dude, he's been snapping for who knows, millions of footballs in his career. Little things, he's always wanted to get better. The communication's been great, whether it's out here or in the meeting rooms. And obviously our system's a little bit different than what they did in Buffalo, so there's been a lot to communicate through, and he's done a great job. So I love where we're at. Just got to keep working that, but he's been awesome and much needed, up front. Just as far as how he leads, I think it's been awesome.
Trevor, a lot of discourse around you has been around how you can improve and get better to fulfill your potential and win a Super Bowl. But looking back on your first 3 years, what are you kind of proud of in terms of what you've done on the field, in terms of just being a football player? No
one's asked me that. Appreciate that. I think our or I know I've gotten better every year. There's been times, there's been plays that where it doesn't look like it. You know, you're going to have bad plays in your career, and that's going to happen. But, you know I've gotten better every year. I think, obviously, we've talked about the stuff I need to get better at, and those are things I know I need to get better at, and I'm working on them moving forward. But as far as just accuracy, giving guys a chance, throwing the ball downfield, that was something I didn't do well at all my rookie year, and I think I've gotten better at that. I think just knowing the system, making the smart play, that's been a big improvement for me. Staying on schedule is something I've learned to do, especially last year. Taking the early, easy completions early in the games, or if it's, you know, first, second down, second and long, just getting the ball in play. Whatever the situations are, I think I've gotten better situationally. That can still improve. There's been times last year where I didn't play well situationally, where made some mistakes or turned it over or whatever. There's always, everything is a learning experience, but those are some things just to think off the top of my head. I wasn't really thinking about it, but.
Is that the thing you'd say is like the biggest learning curve, is like learning how to win and not always like going for the shot play and knowing to like take a completion on first down? Yeah,
I think that's something you definitely have to learn. I've said it, but you still have to play aggressive. You know, you can't take that killer instinct out of you. You know, I think that is something that makes players great, is that ability to know when to take those shots. It's calculated risk. So.
Right.
And sometimes you miscalculate, and in hindsight, it's not the right decision. But I always want to prepare myself for every situation, and then in the game, I want to just play. You know, I don't want to overanalyze. I don't want to think. I don't want to, you know, check a ball down and think, God, I wish I would have threw the shot. I don't want to throw the shot and be like, man, I wish I would have checked it down. You know, there's just going to be plays where you're not always going to be right. So I think the biggest thing I've gotten better at is being able to move on to the next play, and that maybe is the most important thing, playing this position in this league, and you have to be able to do. And sometimes it's harder than others, but I think that's something where, you know, I've gotten better, but you got to keep getting better, because that always is a challenge, because there's going to be some bad plays in there, and you got to move on to the next and make the next one right.
All right, thanks guys.
Awesome. Thank you all.